For over 2,000 years, 300 men have stood as legend. The ultimate symbol of courage against impossible odds.
They fought to the last breath. They chose death over surrender.
They became legend. But the real story is not a tale of lone warriors standing naked against enemies. It's a story of strategy, alliance, betrayal, and sacrifice.
A story that actually changed the course of Western history.
This is Thermopylae. And this is what really happened. To understand Thermopylae, we must go back
to the rise of the greatest empire the ancient world had ever seen.
Persia stretched from India to Egypt, from the Indus to the Aegean. And its king, Xerxes I, commanded resources beyond imagination. Against this colossus stood the divided Greek city-states. In 490 BCE, King Darius sent an expedition to punish Athens. At Marathon, the Athenians achieved the impossible.
They defeated a far larger Persian force. Darius was humiliated.
But Darius died before he could return. His son Xerxes vowed revenge.
Xerxes didn't just bring an army, he brought an empire. Modern historians estimate between 70,000 and 300,000 troops.
Ancient sources claimed millions, but logistics make that impossible.
Plus over 600 warships and countless supply vessels.
Xerxes bridged the Hellespont itself, an engineering marvel.
News spread through Greece. We must unite or perish! The city-states faced extinction. Athens and Sparta, bitter rivals, had to unite or fall separately. We must join forces with our oldest enemies.
An unprecedented alliance formed. Sparta would lead on land. We must stand together for the good of all Greece.
Athens would command the navy. Athens would command the navy.
Place that beam now!
They had the ships. They would fight where Persian numbers couldn't overwhelm them.
One location was perfect, a narrow coastal pass.
Thermopylae, the hot gates, where hot springs met the sea.
Here, Greek armor and tactics could neutralize Persian advantages. The phalanx. A wall of bronze, wood, and disciplined fury. Leading the defense, King Leonidas I of Sparta. A warrior king, trained from childhood in the brutal agoge system. He chose 300 Spartiates, not the youngest, but fathers with sons. But they weren't alone. 7,000 Greeks answered the call. 700 Thespians, led by Demophilus, refused to abandon their post. 400 Thebans came, though their loyalty was questioned. Corinthians, Arcadians, Phocians, Locrians, Greeks united, and hundreds of helots, Sparta's servant class, often erased from history. They fortified the pass, rebuilding an ancient Phocian wall. Scouts watched the northern approaches. They had days to prepare. Then the dust cloud appeared. The Persian host had arrived. Xerxes took position on a throne overlooking the battlefield. Xerxes watches.
A herald was sent. Surrender your arms, and Xerxes will spare you.
Leonidas' reply became legend. Come and take them.
The Persians attacked. Arrows darkened the sky.
But they bounced harmlessly off Greek shields and bronze armor. Persian infantry charged the narrow pass, wave after wave.
The Greek phalanx held. Longer spears, heavier armor.
Spears ready!
Greek spears reached 3 meters. Persian weapons fell short.
In the narrow space, Persian numbers became a disadvantage.
They were crushed against each other, unable to retreat.
Xerxes watched in fury as his best troops failed.
No!
He sent in the immortals, his elite 10,000. Even these elite warriors could not break the Greek line. Day 1 ended. The Greeks held. Casualties? Minimal.
The Greeks rotated their lines, rested, prepared for tomorrow.
The Persians had learned this would not be easy. Day 2 began the same way. The Greeks held the wall. Xerxes demanded results. We must change our strategy. New tactics were ordered. Light troops were sent first to harass and exhaust the Greeks. But the Greeks didn't break rank. They waited. Then the main assault came. Heavier troops, better coordination. Still, the phalanx held. Greek discipline versus Persian courage.
The Greeks rotated fresh fighters to the front, a tactic the Persians couldn't match. Persian losses mounted, morale began to crack.
Xerxes, reportedly, rose from his throne 3 times in fury.
Go! Lead my armies to victory now!
He committed the immortals again, his best against their best. Even the immortals could not penetrate the Greek defense. The Greeks fought not for glory, but for home, for family, for freedom.
Day 2 ended as the first had. The hot gates remained closed.
In the Persian camp, commanders debated how to break the deadlock.
Then, a local man approached. Ephialtes of Trachis had a proposal.
Halt! Who goes there?
He knew a mountain path.
The Anopeia Trail.
It bypassed the Greek position.
For a reward, Ephialtes offered to guide a Persian detachment through the mountains. Xerxes agreed. 10,000 troops would move under cover of darkness.
Under moonlight, the Persians began their climb. Silent, deadly. The path was guarded by Phocian troops, but they were caught by surprise.
A brief skirmish. The Phocians withdrew to higher ground. At dawn, Persian scouts looked down. The Greek camp lay exposed.
A Greek scout brought the news. The Persians were behind them. Lord Leonidas, they are coming from behind.
Leonidas called a council. The position was no longer defensible. Some argued for immediate retreat. Others demanded they hold to the death.
Retreat or die!
Leonidas made his choice. The main army would withdraw. Most Greek forces would live to fight another day. But not all. 700 Thespians refused to leave. They would stand with Sparta.
400 Thebans remained, though ancient sources debate their choice.
We must go.
Together they prepared for the final stand. They knew they would not survive.
Dawn broke on day 3. The Greeks were surrounded.
Xerxes ordered a simultaneous assault from front and rear.
The Greeks formed a tight circle. They would sell their lives dearly. The first wave crashed against them. The Greeks held. But attacks came from behind. The Greeks turned, fought, bled. Weapons broke, armor dented. They fought with whatever remained.
Leonidas led from the front.
For glory and honor, charge!
His presence steadied the line.
The Persians targeted the king. Arrows found their mark.
Leonidas fell. The Spartans fought with renewed fury to recover his body.
A brutal struggle ensued. 4 times the Greeks drove the Persians back.
They recovered their king. But the cost was terrible. The Greek circle shrank. Warriors fell. The end approached. Thespians fought as Spartans. No distinction, no retreat.
Even Helots, Sparta's servants, fought and died as free men.
Numbers told in the end. The Persians closed in. The survivors made their last stand on a small hill. Xerxes ordered archers to finish them. A storm of arrows fell. They fell as they lived, facing the enemy, never turning their backs. When the arrows ceased, silence fell over the hot gates. Xerxes had won Thermopylae, but the victory felt hollow. Victory had come at a devastating price. Thousands of elite Persian soldiers would never return home. But in 3 days, they had done what seemed impossible. They had bought time. While Leonidas held the pass, the Greek navy fought at Artemisium. They matched the Persian fleet, using the same principle, narrow waters. When news of Thermopylae reached them, the fleet knew retreat was necessary. They withdrew in good order. The fight was not over. Athens was evacuated. Women, children, treasures, all sent to safety. Xerxes entered Athens. The city was empty, but the Acropolis remained.
A small garrison defended the Acropolis. They fought to the last man.
Athens burned, but the Greek spirit did not. The fleet remained.
Athenian commander Themistocles had a plan. We must force the fight into the narrow straits, lure the Persians to Salamis. The narrow straits of Salamis would neutralize Persian numbers once more.
The Greek fleet waited, hidden, ready for the trap to spring.
The Persian fleet entered the straits and immediately lost their advantage. The Greeks struck, ramming, boarding, destroying the Persian navy.
Persian ships collided in the narrow space. Chaos reigned.
Xerxes watched from the shore as his navy was destroyed. Salamis was a decisive victory, but the war was not yet won. Xerxes retreated to Asia, leaving General Mardonius with the army. Emboldened by Salamis, more Greek states joined the alliance. In 479 BCE, a united Greek army marched to face Mardonius. They met at Plataea, the final battle for Greece's freedom. In open battle, Greek discipline and unity proved decisive.
With Mardonius gone, the Persian command structure unraveled.
The Persian army fled Greece. The invasion was over. Greece was free. But they remembered the sacrifice that made it possible. The poet Simonides composed an epitaph that would echo through millennia. Go tell the Spartans, stranger passing by.
Today, that monument still stands, a reminder of sacrifice for freedom.
Archaeology continues to reveal the truth behind the legend. Herodotus' account, written decades later, remains our primary source. Modern scholarship refines the details, but the core truth remains. Hollywood dramatized the story, but the real history is more powerful.
Real Spartans wore bronze armor. They fought in formation. They were human. They were human.
It wasn't 300 alone. It was 7,000 Greeks united against empire. Thermopylae didn't win the war. It made victory possible. A chain of events, each link essential, each sacrifice meaningful.
The freedom preserved at Thermopylae helped shape the world we live in.
Their story still inspires courage, duty, sacrifice for something greater. At the hot gates, history reminds us, freedom is never free. Thermopylae was won, but Xerxes knew the cost had been terrible.
The Persian advance continued, but the momentum was broken.
Greeks employed scorched earth, deny the Persians supplies, slow them down. Persian supply lines stretched. An army that large couldn't live off the land. Greek scouts tracked the Persian fleet. Every movement was noted. Themistocles sent a deceptive message, luring Xerxes into a trap. Xerxes took the bait. His fleet entered the Straits of Salamis. The Greek fleet waited, hidden in the bays of Salamis. At the signal, the Greeks struck. Surprise was complete. In the narrow straits, Persian numbers became a liability. Greek triremes, designed for ramming, devastated the Persian fleet. Ship after ship was lost. The Persian fleet fell into chaos within the narrow straits. Xerxes watched his navy die. The invasion's backbone was broken. Salamis was a decisive victory. But the Greeks knew the war continued. The Persian army in Greece was now isolated, cut off from easy resupply. Xerxes chose to retreat to Asia. He left General Mardonius with the best troops. Mardonius tried diplomacy. Athens refused. They would not surrender. Salamis united Greece. More city-states joined the fight for freedom. In 479 BCE, a united Greek army marched to face Mardonius at Plataea. They met on the plain of Plataea, the final battle for Greece. In open battle, Greek discipline and unity proved decisive once more.
Spartans led the Greek right wing. Their training showed in every move.
Mardonius led a desperate charge. He sought to break the Greek line.
Mardonius fell. The Persian command structure collapsed. The Persian army broke and fled. The invasion was over. Greeks pursued the retreating Persians. They secured their freedom. Victory was celebrated. But they remembered the sacrifice that made it possible. Persian survivors returned to Asia. The empire would never again threaten Greece. Greece entered a golden age. Art, philosophy, democracy, all flourished.
The freedom preserved at Thermopylae helped shape democratic ideals.
A chain of events. Each sacrifice meaningful. Each victory essential. The legacy of Thermopylae echoes in the world we live in today. Their story still inspires. Courage, duty, sacrifice for something greater.
We study Thermopylae not just for history, but for the lessons it teaches.
Military strategists still study Thermopylae. Tactics,
Leadership.
sacrifice. What is worth dying for? Thermopylae asks that question still. Monuments to freedom worldwide echo the spirit of Thermopylae. At Thermopylae, history reminds us, freedom is never free. How did the story of Thermopylae reach us? Through ancient sources. Herodotus, writing decades later, provides our most detailed account.
Other ancient writers added details, each with their own perspective.
Modern historians compare sources. They seek the truth behind the legend.
Archaeology provides physical evidence, weapons, armor, battlefield layout.
Scholarly consensus refines the details. But the core story remains powerful. Hollywood dramatized Thermopylae. Spectacular, but not accurate. Real Spartans wore bronze armor. They fought in formation. They were human. It wasn't 300 alone. It was 7,000 Greeks united against empire.
700 Thespians stood beside the Spartans at Thermopylae. Their courage deserves remembrance.
Helots, Sparta's servant class, also fought. History often forgets. Thermopylae didn't win the war. It made victory possible. Thank you for watching Trenchline Tales.
We explored the true story behind the 300 Spartans.
All information based on current historical scholarship and archaeological evidence.
If you enjoyed this deep dive into ancient history, subscribe and hit the bell.
Next week, Alexander's Forgotten Campaigns, the geopolitics of conquest, mapping how Alexander's empire fractures birthed Hellenistic kingdoms and Eurasian trade.
At Trenchline Tales, we bring ancient history to life. With accuracy, with passion.
Thank you to our amazing community. Your curiosity fuels our research.
At Thermopylae, we remember, freedom is never free. Courage has a cost. Trenchline Tales. History worth remembering.